Useless orphan disgusting boy awakens a S-rank spirit that turns music into the strongest power. In the year 2020, a meteor shower of black stones covered the sky, landing on Earth. Monsters known as D2 came out of those meteors and attacked humanity. Humans tried to fight back, however, nothing could defeat the monsters. Until one day, some people awakened the mysterious power to fight back using the power of music, called conductors and the music arts. Every music art power comes from music compositions, but their power can only be used when they're contracted to a conductor, who uses their life force to unlock the music art's full power. Tact is a young boy who always admired how hard his father worked. His father, Kenji, is a music composer who always cared about who would listen to the music he made. Tact was so proud of his father that he also learned how to play the piano, hoping that someday the two would be able to perform together. However, one day his father was performing when it was attacked by the D2. Tact cried as he tried to wake his father up, but his father never got up. Everyone mourned for Kenji's death, except him, who tried to deal with his emotions by playing the piano. Sagan, the leader of the New York Symphonica, the group that fights the monsters, gave a speech on Kenji's memory. He quoted the maestro, who always said that music provides people comfort and hope. Sagan then explained a secret to the public. Music has the power to defeat the monsters when used by conductors. However, it can also attract monsters when it's played by civilians. And from that day forward, music was banned from being played by regular people. 10 years have passed since that day, and Tact has spent every day isolated in his soundproof garage. He practiced the piano there with no end. Luckily, he had some cute neighbors, Cosette and Anna, who would visit him once a week to make sure he ate and cleaned the house. However, dealing with Cosette was annoying for Tact. As soon as she arrived, he would tell her to leave, but she always ignored him and started cleaning, which annoyed Tact because he couldn't play with the noise. They began to argue, but Anne, as always, stepped in and scolded them. They went to have breakfast, and Cosette suggested to Tact that he should play the piano outside. She wanted people to hear his music because she believed it would make everyone happy. However, he refused because there were no pianos left outside. Anna then tells Tact that her family promised to take care of him after his father passed away. Yet, she explains that one day she and Cosette would leave for New York, leaving him alone. She was worried because Tact hadn't left the house since his father died. He said he would never leave and would just protect his music. In the afternoon, he was playing the piano, imagining that his father was the conductor. He played it with all his passion, but Cosette came in, interrupting him. She told him that there would be a Symphonica festival, and it was his chance to play the piano. It was a day where everyone could let loose and be happy again. However, he refused once again, stating that people had abandoned music. Plus, he doesn't believe that he is good enough for his music to reach everyone's hearts, just like his father believed. Besides, only Anna and Cosette had ever heard him play. Cosette became sad, and before leaving, she said she liked his music. The next day, Cosette began playing the piano when Tact wasn't around. Suddenly, he arrived and was surprised because he didn't know she could play the piano. She said her late mother taught her. She told him that at the festival, only music prepared by Symphonica was allowed to be played, which seemed unfair. She asked him to make a shocking street debut, but he refused once again. Anna came into the room to take out the trash, and she told him that the only person who could make Cosette smile was him, even though he considered her a nuisance. The following day, Tact realized that Cosette had taken his piano to the festival without his permission. People started arriving, but Tact hadn't come yet. Cosette decided to stall for time and began playing while Anna went to look for him. After a few minutes, Tact arrived and started playing the piano. He wanted to show people what real music was. Everyone was amazed by the beautiful music. Then Cosette decided to join, and they played together. They seemed happy and full of life while playing. After performing, Cosette happily grabbed and raised his hand to thank the audience. Suddenly, an explosion occurred where they were, and various D2 creatures appeared in different parts of the city. Tact later regained consciousness and noticed his right arm was injured with several rocks pierced. He feels heavy and looks down. He notices Cosette severely injured from the explosion and tries to wake her up. She opened her eyes and told him she was right. She tells him that she loves the way he plays the piano. She then closes her eyes and he realizes those were her last words. Anna arrives and is shocked to see her younger sister in that state. Tact starts to cry, pleading for her to open her eyes. At that moment, Cosette's necklace started glowing. She starts floating and a rose appears from her chest, releasing some thorn vines that restrain Tact's arm. Tact then looks down and sees some sort of spirit. The spirit approaches him and bites his arm off. Suddenly, the thorns and rose return to Cosette's body and she transforms into a new form. Anna cannot believe her eyes, but Cosette calls Tact Maestro. He's shocked by her new appearance. Cosette then summons a baton from her chest and hands it to him. Tact grabs it, confused, but Cosette reveals she can feel monsters nearby and asks permission to eliminate them. He cannot bear to look her in the eyes, but his face turns into anger as he orders her to delete them all. Anna couldn't believe her eyes as she saw her transformed sister walking toward the battlefield with Tact. Tact raised his baton, creating several bullets that hit the monsters. Cosette then followed up and began eliminating all the monsters that had appeared in her way. Tact directed her moves with the baton, while Cosette used her magic weapon and speed to defeat the monsters. Some monsters focused on Tact, but he managed to dodge away. Cosette came to his side, and he ordered her to eliminate them all. She powers up a magic attack that ends up consuming a huge part of his life force. She shoots an energy ball from her weapon, creating a huge blast to defeat the monsters. Tact gets angry because the monsters were annihilated without making a single noise. He then notices Cosette falling forward. He approaches her body and his arm regenerates. Suddenly, more monsters appear and he also faints. Suddenly, a man named Lenny and a girl named Titan arrive on a motorbike. The girl quickly steps into action and starts defeating all the monsters. However, at the same time, we can see someone on top of a building, destroying a playing tuning fork. The next day, Tact woke up from a dream where he saw Cosette walking away after listening to him playing the piano. He then looked at his injured hand and noticed some black spots. He went down to his garage and found Cosette. However, there's something strange. Her eyes are wide open, and her voice is monotone. He called her name, but she replied that Anna also called her by that name, but her real name was Destiny. He's confused, but she repeats while calling him Maestro. Tact tries to take it slow, mentioning a lot happened the previous night, and that some weird stuff happened to the two of them. Destiny then explained that she was born from Beethoven's Fifth Symphony called Destiny. She reveals that she is a music art and Tact is a conductor. Still confused, he talked to Anna about what was wrong with Cosette. She introduced him to Lenny and Titan, explaining that they had saved him the day before, and they started eating. Lenny explained that when the meteorites called the Black Knight Setterite fell, the D2 creatures appeared and couldn't be defeated. Even advanced technology didn't stand a chance against them until the music arts were created by Symphonica. Their power originated from the Harmony mineral, which had energy opposite to the D2 creatures and reacted to music. With this newfound power, they were able to drive the D2OS into dormancy and end the battle. That's what brought on the Sagan Declaration. Tact asked Lenny why Cosette was acting strangely, almost robotic. Lenny told him that they were unsure how the D2OS arrived at the scene. Lenny said that a music art transformation usually involves a long process in labs when they show potential, but he didn't understand why Cosette became one naturally. He explained that it's not a normal occurrence and that those who become music arts lose their memories. Anna was worried as they would have to fight D2 creatures, but Lenny told her that she's no longer Cosette. He explained that those who become music arts lose themselves and their memories. Titan had a similar experience. Tact understood that if Cosette hadn't transformed, she would have died that day. Upon hearing this, Anna was shocked and started crying. Lenny told them that music arts powers can be used in a stable manner, but Destiny was out of her armored mode and currently in her sleep mode. This mode was inconceivable, and there was something wrong with her ability to control her energy output. Later that day, Anna and Tact planned to go to New York as they could investigate what was happening to Cosette there in the Symphonica headquarters. Anna's sister and parents lived there as well. However, getting there was complicated and dangerous as they had to pass through areas with many D2 creatures. Lenny provided advice on areas with less D2 activity. Anna asked Lenny if Cosette could be cured in New York. He replied that he wasn't entirely sure, but there was a possibility. He mentioned that he didn't plan to go to New York but could accompany them for a significant part of the journey. Tact expressed gratitude for what Lenny was doing, and Lenny left to pack his things. Anna told Tact that she hoped Cosette could be cured and return to her previous self since she currently acted emotionless.